So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology, and welcome to the iPhone 6 iOS 11 Beta 7 versus the iPhone 7 iOS 11 Beta 7. Now earlier today I did the iPhone SE versus the iPhone SE on the Beta 6 public, which is basically the same as this iOS here, but a lot of people have been requesting do the 6, do the 7, so we're gonna verse these guys together to see how this fares out. Now this is an A10 chipset, A8, and this actually hasn't been running iOS 11 that great, and this actually hasn't either. So both of these aren't running it that great, but the iPhone 7 well ahead of the iPhone 6 here. So even though these devices look identical, this thing's a beast under the hood. This one, not so much, but we're gonna see how much longer it takes here. If it takes a little longer, we might have to play some music right here. So there it goes. So it's about 10 to 15 seconds behind the iPhone 7 on the boot up test. Okay guys, so before we proceed further here with these iPhones, I do have to go into settings and show you guys that we are rocking out with the same iOS versions on both. Just so you know, this is a fair test here. We do have iOS 11 15A 5362 on the iPhone 6 here. You can see no S logo. And over here on the right, we do have 15A 5362A here for the iPhone 7. So let's go ahead and try a fingerprint scanner test now, just to see which one is quicker. So you can see the iPhone 7 much quicker. I mean, it's going to be quicker in most of these departments. So if you're watching this and you have an iPhone 6, you can watch this as an iPhone 6 only speed test or an iPhone 7 only speed test. But you can see the iPhone 6 much ahead of, or the iPhone 7 much ahead of the iPhone 6 there in that one. So now let's go ahead and just run through the general user interface to see if we can find any delays or hiccups. So just scrolling through our app pages, no issues here. Going into the control center, you've seen the iPhone 7 is just a little bit more responsive when it comes to that regard. There's just a little bit of a frame rate delay there on the iPhone 6. You can see scrolling down notification trays look good here on both. Now going back in the control center, let's go into this, and you can see that it's a little bit slower there on the iPhone 6. Definitely a little bit of a lag, you can see right there, and I'm pressing them at the same time here, and there's definitely lag there on the iPhone 6. So now let's go ahead and run the application test. So I do have both of these lined up with the same exact applications. Let me get out of reachability there. And here's where we're gonna test where you really see the differences in the speed departments here on the latest Beta 7 for both of these. Let's go into calendar on both, and you can see the iPhone 7 ahead, but not too much over the 6. Going in the calculator, the iPhone 7 ahead, clock, and going into clock here, you can see about the same, honestly. Let's go into camera, and you could see that was definitely ahead for the 7. So the iPhone 6 is showing that it's performing quite well here when it comes to its stock applications. So let's go to yahoo.com on both. Yahoo. So let's go. And you should see that Yahoo does open first for the iPhone 7, but only slightly in terms of the zoom. Pinch to zoom, both about the same here. So like I say, in terms of stock applications, you're going to get similar performance here on both, but the iPhone 7 does show its stuff right there, beating the iPhone 6 in that round. Heading over into Instagram, you should see this does change things a little bit when we get into third-party apps. Here is where the iPhone 7 will smoke the iPhone 6. So going into YouTube, you can see YouTube is open first there on the iPhone 7, and now the iPhone 6. Going into Amazon, you could see Amazon should fire open first for the iPhone 7, and now we're waiting, and we're waiting, and we're still waiting, and now the iPhone 6. So going into eBay, you can see eBay is about the same, but no, the iPhone 7 is ahead of the iPhone 6 there. So you can see that if you are going to be upgrading to an iPhone 7 from an iPhone 6, going forward, the software is going to be much better supported and much better running here on the iPhone 7. So I think that the older versions of iOS are running better there for the iPhone 6. So let's go into the App Store on both. And you can see the App Store again first there for the iPhone 7. But in terms of scrolling, it's both, it's both very good. So it's very good on both of them here. So let's go out of there and let's go into a couple of games now and see what happens on Subway Surfers. And here's where the better GPU in the 7 is going to take down the 6 as well here. So the iPhone 7 ahead, and we're waiting on the 6. We can actually go on a tempo run while we wait on the 6 there. We can wrap that up there. We can go into Jetpack Joyride as well. And now the 6 is done, going in the tempo run. You can see, well, actually no Jetpack Joyride. I don't even have that downloaded here on the iPhone 6. Made a little mistake right there. But you can see Temple Run loads. So the iPhone 6 definitely slower, but it seems like it's coming along pretty decently here on this latest version of iOS 11. It still, you know, gets a little hot, overheats. The battery drains a lot on the iPhone 6. For me, you know, I think I started this video with 32%. It's already down to 23. So this phone's been getting hot on iOS 11 betas as well as draining. Now the iPhone 7 also has a battery drain issue for me using iOS 11 betas. It's still draining the battery quite quick here for my iPhone 7. I don't know if you're having the same experience, but the iPhone 7 has some lag when it comes to the 3D touch. You can see right there, just slightly delayed in comparison to like iOS 10.3. So keep that in mind there as well. Now going through the app switcher, they're both going to run smooth here, but I see a little bit of choppiness there in the iPhone 6. Now let's go ahead and run through them just quickly again, just to see how they're holding in the background. So let's go back over there, missed that one. Let's go into calculator. You can see, again, I'm not gonna go through each one of them. We're gonna be here all day doing that. But basically, they both run the applications in the background just fine, very optimized on both platforms. Okay guys, so wrapping it up here, the iPhone 6 finishes with a 1584 on its single core and a 2597 on its multi-core. The iPhone 7 finishes with a 3528 on single core and a 5984 on the multi-core. Now I'm not sitting up here trying to tell you like, oh, this is a surprise, the iPhone 7 is so much better. It's obvious. I mean, it's a newer phone. This is just for those of you out there who want to see the scores on your particular device, whichever one you are using here. So you've seen here in this video that your iPhone 6 is coming along pretty decently here. It looks like it's going to be able to run iOS 11, the official version, when it comes, solid, but not quite as good as the latest version. And it's questionable whether you're going to want to update to it over iOS 10 on the iPhone 6. Any questions, comments, concerns, feedback, drop it down below in the comment section of this video. Nick here helping you to master your technology. I will catch you all in the next episode. Be sure to be well and peace.